Real JP Multimedia, proud sponsor of the Nerdball podcast. Here to help you with all things audio, video, graphics, photo, web design. From weddings to real estate, commercial business to private use, we offer a big variety of services for almost any budget. And if we can't do it, we will find someone who can. Find us at realjp.com. That's REELJP.com. Real JP Multimedia.
Thank you for downloading Three Different Dads, a podcast with a. Why are you looking? That's the name of the podcast. I nailed it this time.
Is that what we settled on?
Yes.
I thought it was different. I thought you screwed it up.
No, wait. So you guys still don't know the name of the podcast?
Not really.
Okay, it's Three Different Dads.
Maybe we should call it Three Different Dads, a working title or something.
Okay, well, that's what it is. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I am Lorenzo. I'm here with Jim and Tyler. Guys, thanks for coming on. I believe this is our 6th episode. We had a hiatus. We lied to our listeners that we would do one in person, and we did not. So here we are.
Things got a little crazy.
Yeah, my dad thought it was kind of funny that we ended our trip and there was still beer in the fridge. So
there wasn't a lot though.
There was enough where
okay.
Well, I mean, there was, yeah. I wasn't disappointed in this because, man, you guys are just getting older. Yeah, it's like, I guess we went to bed at like 11 o'clock every night. So we're just responsible men. That's all.
Yeah. We were also up though early. Like, it's not like we were sleeping in every day either. Like, I think everybody was like pretty much up by like 8 or 9 too.
Yeah.
I think Corwin was always the last one out of bed, but more power to him.
Well, I mean, a lot of us were dads, so you get used to, I mean, even when you sleep in, that's like sleeping in is like 8 o'clock.
Yes.
So,
correct. And usually if you sleep in that late, you think something's wrong. What happened?
Or you're worried that you slept through an alarm and you're supposed to be somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
Like today. Like I hit snooze on the alarm so we could podcast later. But yeah, I got up.
Well, even Andrea said last night, she goes, what do we have tomorrow? I go, nothing. She goes, nothing? I go, nope. We have nothing on the schedule. She goes, that feels weird. I said, I know, we're always somewhere all the time.
Yeah. Summer's just busy, dude. Like all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I learned
not to make excuses for our listeners, but we were busy.
Well, I learned that I cannot podcast in June ever. It's baseball, softball season, football starts in June. It's just there's no time. So this is the end of June on a Sunday, and I can make this one happen. So I'm excited to be back with you guys to hear about how we would.
Are you really?
I'm very, very excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I haven't felt the love, but all right, here we go.
Wait. Jim, you good, man?
Yeah, let's do this.
Didn't we already start? I thought we already started.
We did. All right, Ty. Why don't you kick us off with whatever you got to say?
So, recent article I saw online when I searched dad news or dads, something to do with dads. So
Roe versus Wade. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Roe versus Wade. Let's get get it out there.
Okay.
We're gonna solve this right now. So go ahead, Jim. You start us off.
I'm here to change everyone's opinions on everything.
Us three knuckleheads. We got it. All right. Sorry.
No. So my real article was there was a father who attempted to stop police from capturing his son with an excavator. So I guess the dude drives like heavy machinery.
The dad had the excavator.
The dad had the excavator, and I guess like the police were like looking for his son, or I glanced at the article. I didn't really read the whole thing.
Sure. Headline, got it.
But I just thought it was funny. So I guess, tying it to the podcast, in the future, if your said, child is a problem child, we'll say nicely,
Yeah.
and the police show up looking for your child, do you lie? Do you get an excavator out? Like, what do you do? Just curious. Like, would you rat him out and be like, yeah, he's right in this room? Like,
How guilty is he or she?
you don't know. So
Yeah,
like,
I'm
literally,
lying.
So
you're lying.
yeah.
Okay.
I was say you kind of know, like Jim asking the question, how guilty is he or she? I think you know the answer based on your child's history, right?
That's a good point.
But go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
No, I just think if it's like, how crazy is the charge against them, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if it's something stupid,
They
then
won't tell you. They come knocking one day.
yeah.
But to Lorenzo's point, let's say by then, let's say 20 years down the road, one kid, and I'm not going to name names, Jim, but you probably know which kid is better than the other for your own.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I'm definitely like, when the cops are asking for Brooklyn, I'm definitely like,
Boom.
hey, I don't know this person you speak of. And then I'll just try to figure out some stuff on my own. And then if it's like crazy, then I'll be like, call the anonymous tip line.
Just like, hey.
Yeah.
Guest house.
So no, I mean, I would want more information, but dude, no, unless it's crazy. No.
I don't think the cops are usually telling them what they're charged with, though. Just being honest. Like, I think they just say, hey, we got a warrant for so-and-so's arrest, or hey, we need to ask so-and-so about questioning or something.
But I think your kid would have a general idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
What if your kid comes home one night and says, you know nothing, and just stares you in the face?
And then just walks upstairs.
Yeah. Just, you know nothing. And you're like, all right, I got you. Got you, dog.
Well, there's a difference. And well, that's important. If your child doesn't specifically tell you, like, that you got to help me, I did this X, Y, and Z, then I think that's different, as opposed to saying, because then you can tell the cops, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now then you say, I don't know what you're talking about, but she or he is up there, and I'll bring them down and we can discuss this together. But I think if you know all the information, then that's a little more like legality there, where you're like, no, I don't know everything, but he or she told me everything, so you're lying then, but I guess that was the original question, is would you lie about, to the cops?
Would you lie about, your son or daughter's whereabouts? Yeah.
I learned from my parents, because my brother was that person, right? Always causing trouble since he was like 13. I don't remember a time where my parents were like, didn't say something, or didn't not say something to the cops. Like, they were pretty open. A lot of times the situation never happened where that something you're specifically talking about, like, hey, the cops are at the door, we're looking for your son. But what they did do was everything possible to help after the fact. So like, if there was an arrest, or if they wanted to question my brother, or if they, they would do everything they could to help him, have the best result possible. There was even a time where my brother was with a group they were recording themselves, and this was years ago. I can't imagine the size of the camera they were using, but they were recording themselves. And I don't know, and I don't think my brother was one who did it, but they jumped a kid, and it was pitch black dark. You could hardly see. You heard a couple names, and that video ended up on the news. And they didn't say my brother's name, but they said his nickname, which is Buddy. And so the cops didn't come to my parents. My parents took my brother to the cops and said he was involved, and he right or wrong, told them what happened, and he was fine, but the people who actually did stuff got in trouble. And I guess in the end he wasn't fine, because all his friends hated him, which, but my parents told him this is the right thing to do, and that's what he did. So there, if to go back to the original question, I think I would do what my parents did. And like I said, your kid, If it's the first time and there's a teacher like, hey, your kid stole some bubble gum, I'm like, okay, well, you got to give the bubble gum back. But as it progresses and it's getting bad, I would do everything I can to help my kid, short of I learned from my parents, I'm not getting in trouble and hurting this family worse by, if it's something serious, by also going away,
Yeah.
but it's all like those little things, like, is it, how little is this thing, and we'll figure it out, and I'll help you as much as I can. But you dug your own grave on this one, but I'll help you. I'm not going to leave you.
That's the responsible answer. I was hoping you'd be like, snitches get stitches and slam the door on the cops.
No. I mean, you want to, right? That's
oh yeah. I feel like I would, and then I'd open the door again, like.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would. That is a thought that would cross my mind. I would imagine, like, oh, I gotta help. You think like, oh, this is just a little thing. Well, nah, I don't know where this person is. Get out of here.
Well, and also, like, I feel like it's very much like, I'd want to know, like, do they have a warrant? Are they just here to talk? If you're just here to talk, like, I don't want you to talk to my kid unless I'm there.
Yep, correct. Yep.
And even then, I'd probably be like, there's probably no upside in us talking.
100%.
So why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
I will not talk without my lawyer being present. Thank you.
Type of a thing, right? And it's like, everything you see or on, let's just like, don't go and talk to them because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, there's no real upside to it. So
that's also a tough conversation to have too, because when you're a kid, or when you're telling your little kids, like, yeah, the police help, the police do this, the police are good people, if you're in trouble you can go to them. But as they get older, there's another thing, like, well, if the police ever come to you, don't talk to them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to respect the police, be buddy with the police, but if they come, don't talk to them.
Yeah, but Jim's right. You cannot if they're investigating something, don't say anything ever. I will always tell my kids, if they come to you and they're asking you questions about either something you did or something somebody did, or your friend or whatever, say, if you're not with me or your mom, don't talk to them, and say, I'll talk to you after I talk to my parents or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's such a contradictory thing when you're like, they'll help you, but also don't.
Oh, they're not there to help you. They're there to bust you. Some of us know from firsthand experience.
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah,
dude, lights were off. I thought cops always had to have their lights on always, but whatever.
It's just something kids say to you. That's like when you're somewhere and the cop has to tell you. If you ask them,
are you a
undercover
cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop. Yeah.
No, they don't. They can lie to you all the time, so you're good. What about you, Tyler? I don't think did you ever answer it?
I feel like I would honestly fuck with the cop, like literally just, snitches get stitches. But then I'd probably, talk to my daughter real quick and be like, what'd you do? Like, where is this coming from, or what transpired, but I don't know. That's
can you imagine your 11-year-old like that? Snitches get stitches.
I would probably like give the fist bump and I'd feel like I taught her well. No, but like again, Olivia's she's a goody. Like she won't have problems. I'm not worried about her at all long term. But yeah, I don't know. That one made me laugh because I could just imagine, like, again, because I think a little of it too is just like you could very easily just kind of like, something that could just go off in your head and you're like, no, you're not taking my kid, and then literally fire up an excavator and try and like bulldoze the cops, like paddy wagon or whatever.
I mean, that's allegedly, because you didn't read the article. So
allegedly, yeah, we won't know the full story.
We probably will never, because
the listeners
you won't finish that article.
Can research as they see it.
All right. Jim, you wanna go next?
Yeah. So this mom in Essex, England, was at her daughter's field day, and her daughter's 8 years old, and the daughter was saying, Mom, I really want you to compete in the parents race. I really want you to compete. And the mom begrudgingly said, yeah, sure, okay, I'll run in this thing. And she had no intention before she got there of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
She's running in, it was like a 20-yard race or whatever. She's got about halfway through the race. She trips. She has like a sundress on, falls over, moons the entire class, and she just has a thong on. And so,
let me see that.
yeah. So I was just like, man, number one, field day. Awesome. Kids still love that thing. And
how old was the kid?
8.
Okay.
Like I was invited to my daughter's field day this year.
Were you asked to participate in anything?
They didn't have, there was a water balloon thing that some people, like a couple parents, but they were like volunteers ahead of time, right?
Okay.
Like that did stuff with them.
Mhm.
But I was trying to think like,
were you wearing a thong?
no,
Not that day.
no,
Not that day.
And I'll make sure the editor puts in that clip post production here so everybody can see it.
Well,
That'd
let's leave a space for it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, because I thought I saw this on TikTok actually.
Okay. Yeah. So, but no, I was thinking like, if my kid were to ask me to do something at a field day, is there anything I would not do?
Okay.
And the answer is yes. I would not I probably wouldn't do any of this.
None of it at all.
I would probably do like some water thing.
Okay.
But dude, we're at the age now. It's like
you could tear an ACL.
Well, just let me. Yeah, sure. Let me get this straight though. You would just hear me out. You would not participate in any of those things for possible injury, but you would lie to the police about your
1,000%. Yeah. 1,000%.
All right. I just want to see where we're at here. All right.
Yeah.
This podcast is pretty rough. Like, let's be honest. Like, we're rough riders for sure.
Yeah. No.
So there's nothing. So even like a throwing thing. Like, do they have any like throwing events or anything?
I can't throw at all.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Some of us are working with a reconstructed shoulder, so no excuses.
Well, as we all know, I'm an athlete. So
yeah.
You know what I think, dude?
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I saw the talent like at the guys trip. I mean, it was there.
When we did,
some of us are not.
When we did indoor football, flag football, that was full contact.
Yeah.
Which is one of the dumbest things. Like looking back on it, I was like, I can't believe there's old dudes in that league. But
yeah, we were pretty young.
Can we go off story here and tell the listeners about said league? Like,
well, let's Jim can finish his story and then we'll.
My right shoulder since then.
Fine.
Since then?
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty much since then, I have a very difficult time of like getting my arm up all the way.
Okay.
And it just hurts, dude.
Dude, I do agree that was. I mean, we had fun though, right? Right, 100%. It was awesome. It was such a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. But as far as we will go back to that. I think that's a fun thing to talk about. But as far as your original question about, I would participate in anything. I would do any of that stuff, and I agree. Like the next day, I'd probably hurt and be sore. But I'm not as competitive as much. I'm an athlete.
That's what it boils down to. You're an athlete.
I think it's fun, and especially like if there's other dads doing it, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let this dude who's 8 years older than me. Like,
I just don't. I just like it would be cool to win like a tug of war.
Sure.
But then like if you lose it, now your kid's looking at you like, dude, Dad, what the hell is that? Like,
or for the next year, whenever you see that dude on the other side, like, hey, remember tug of war? Because that's all dads have is old war stories.
Right. And so it's just like, God, okay. Um, yeah, I just don't see you have to win or not participate, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or your kid's gonna be like, hey, dad, remember when you lost in the potato sack race or whatever?
Remember when you fell and mooned the entire crowd?
Yeah.
And it's on video.
And it's on video. Yeah. I mean, no, I just don't see the upside to it.
All right.
I'm sure they would love it. I just
What about the upside of at that moment your child is having the time of their life?
I think regardless, they're having a good time, man.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
I mean, I loved field day as a kid. My kids love field day. Dude, you guys don't understand. Frank's school field day.
Yeah.
I mean,
second to none.
I kid you not, it was like Joey Byers, Justin Stagger. Justin Stagger would wear, one of those two, would wear ankle weights to school.
Why?
Like a week before to train, dude.
I see him from time to time. I should ask him about that when I
just ask him if he ever rocked ankle weights in elementary school. His answer will be yes.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
That's the type of commitment. That's who I was going up against. So, I mean.
So you never won, though?
Yeah, no.
Obviously not.
Field day is about field day here. Field day is geared towards the short kid, like soccer players, quick. I don't check those boxes.
All right. That's all right. Tyler?
Not to hold grudges.
Do you participate?
I would participate. I would have no problem. If I got D pants, I got D pants. Just end up and be like, take it all in. But
oh God. Then your child would have to lie to you to the police.
But yeah, like I think that stuff's fun. I don't know. Like I don't see it going that bad. I guess I could be wrong, but obviously for that parent that did go that bad. But yeah, I think it would be fun. And yeah, if my kid would like ask me to do something, I would do it.
I'll tell you what, I would be, if there is something to be involved in. My kids had field day, but there was no like participation. They were just looking for volunteers. But there's nothing more terrifying than when I'm coaching the softball team, and then I have to go out there and coach pitch and pitch to them. I get so nervous, and the other coach is like, "Why are you so nervous?" I go, "Because if they don't hit, that's my fault." Like everyone should be hitting.
Like coach pitch. I would be nervous doing that. Like if if I had a son, like honestly, or if my daughter, ended up playing softball at one point, but they're like, coach pitch. I'd be like, I'm not pitching.
I got the shoulder. Today. I got the shoulder.
I went yesterday,
thing.
And they'd be like, "No, you didn't. It's pitch." Like, no, I can't. And then I would like show them the scar. I'd be like, "Dude, we're working with a reconstructed shoulder here. I can't pitch. Sorry."
After a while, your daughter's just like, "Nah, it's shoulder. He can't."
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, she would know. Be like, "He's got a shoulder thing. You got to throw again."
Like he can barely do like nail it part 2. He can't even do it.
I don't want to talk about it. It's hard.
So I want to go back to that flag football league we were in.
Yes.
So
that's actually a hell of a story.
The not muches.
Not
muchers. I don't remember. I just know they're lime green shirts. But going back to being injured, I hurt my back there. I had to have back surgery. Yes. That's when I first had a herniated disc and I had to have surgery. But it was pretty brutal, but it was awesome at the same time. It was so much fun. I mean, the fact that we were good plays into that too, and that we were undefeated champions. But I had a lot of fun.
Little life hack for anyone out there is, especially younger listeners, which is our key demo. Once you graduate college, if you can get a couple like Division I athletes or esque on your rec team, you're gonna win the rec league.
You're gonna be in good spot. Yeah.
Dude, we had Matt Leininger, Kurt, and Adam both played baseball. I thought we have another baseball player.
Yeah, I forget the guy's bigger dude though.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't think of his name either.
Yeah.
But he was good. Like they would just run past Gunn, who I think played something.
I can't remember.
I
Scott
don't know.
Gunn? Was it Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we had a really good team.
So I was not on said team, but I did show up and support you guys. Shoulder, obviously. Yeah. I left it all on the field in high school, so I had nothing else to prove. So
I had fun. Almost getting into fights a few times, so that was cool.
There was one game specifically that I showed up in support, and that was the game that I remember is you almost got into a fight with somebody.
Well, some dude got mad that I put him on the ground and he swung and punched me in my head, and then like on the top of my head or something somewhere, and then we got broke apart, and then I got kicked out. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even swing. I was swung at. They always get the brown. They always get the brown guy though.
It was a racial thing. I am
100%. 100%. My father-in-law started walking out onto the field. I remember.
I remember that. Yeah, that's right. He's gonna like back you up. I remember.
Man, yeah.
Good time.
That was fun, man, and it was indoor. Like I don't even know how you get like waivers for this stuff. Like,
I don't either because
they don't do it anymore.
I think you guys probably all had to sign off on basically your lives and your physical, like
it was full contact from the waist up.
Yeah.
Was it? Could you not use your hand? I can't remember.
No, you could. You
could use your hands. Okay.
Yeah. At BG, we could.
At BG, okay, that's what it was. BG, you could not. If you were a pass blocker, you could not use your hands. You could only use your shoulders and
just move. Yeah, like shuffle around.
Yeah, but yours was like full contact. I'm gonna take you to the ground.
it was sweet. Yeah. And you would have been there, but your shoulder. We got it.
I can't, man. Still can't. Sorry.
All right. My thing is, I was thinking about my sister was up here from Louisville this weekend, or this past week. She has a stepson who is 12, I believe. And my parents were telling me about this little girlfriend he has that he will text and call. And it started me thinking like, man, what am I going to do when my kids, specifically we'll stick with daughters here, when my daughter starts dating or talking to boys or texting or any of that, like what are your thoughts on, I know what what you would like to do. Like, I want to be this sort of dad, or I want to be like the angry dad, so he knows whatever. But like, what do you think you would actually do, or how have you thought about how you will handle if your daughter has a phone and you see a text from a boy? Like, how would you? And you're like, oh shit, it's starting. Like, what do you envision you doing?
Disconnecting the phone service immediately.
Like I said, I knew like what you want to do, but feasibly
get into her face and say all men are creeps and you're not dating till you're 35. Bam.
Go ask your mother. No.
See what happened to me and your mom? That's what dating's like, you know?
Oh God. I'm gonna go cry for a minute. Hold on. Little do you know what's in this cup of coffee.
Yeah, no, that's a concerning thing, because my daughter desperately like wants a cell phone, and I don't understand the reasoning or why. So I know why she wants it, but like it's not a good reason for me.
Trying to build her brand, Jim. I mean, she's a makeup person, so like you got to support that.
Yeah. So but no, in all honesty, like I feel like whenever I get that and I saw her texting really anybody, I'm probably going to pull up like articles of like when shit got bad for kids.
Sure.
And be like, hey, I'm not saying you did this or this is what's happening. Just there's a lot of responsibility with this thing that I didn't have to deal with and your mom didn't have to deal with, but you're going to have to deal with. And like, here's how it can go really bad. And I don't want this for you. And thank God, like looking back, I don't think it might like I would be able to handle the like without doing dumb shit at 11 or 12. Like,
Yeah. But what about like even when they get older? Because I know now um I know people who like gone through their kids' cell phones and they're 12, 13 and look at it. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she goes, I would find notes in your guys' rooms all the time, and I would just put them away because I don't want to know what's happening, because that could get you into more trouble as a parent. Like, if you say something like, and the only way you know is from a note or a text that you read, then your kid's like, well, how do you know that?
The trust is broken. Yeah, it's like
that's
a trust thing. Yeah, it's a really like it's a hard subject, honestly, because like I don't know. Like I'd probably be like, who's that kind of question. But I don't think I would, go like full blown like I'm gonna grab the phone, see what they're talking about. I don't think I would go that hardcore.
yeah.
Um Again, I think it all boils down to like your kid, and you are going to know your kid, and if you have to worry and stuff like that. But I think it also goes into like, at what age do you think it's appropriate to get your son or daughter a phone? Like, I don't know. It's hard.
And I
I
think,
don't know what the
yeah.
answer is. Who knows?
Well, I think
But
it's different circumstances. Like I think so. Next year, Mateo's going to HPI, which is the 5th and 6th grade building. He's going to get home at different times, and he's got to leave at different times. And we're talking about getting him one because it'll make it a lot easier for us to know like when he's home and what he's doing.
yeah,
Also, there's so many things like parental controls you can put on them too, as far as like how many numbers they can call or who can
yeah,
call in or who they text and all that stuff. So I think that plays a part into it also. I mean, Lillian's too young. She wants she keeps saying she wants a smartwatch, but even we were looking at those too. And the same thing, like there's one where you can only have like 5 numbers on there. And those are the only people who can contact you. So there's a lot of things that help with that. I always think about too, since us being guys and how we were towards girls at like when I was in junior, when I lived in Toledo, I was in junior high, and I remember a couple nights going with 2 of my friends, and we went and we had to we had to climb in through a window to go to this girl's house. Like I can't imagine that happening at my house, and like what would happen if I found that to be a case. Even that happened in high school, like
yeah.
like what is on the horizon here that we have to be prepared for. And it's kind of scary because on Jim's point, like you want to show them all the bad stuff, but part of me is like I don't want to scare them too much. A little bit is good, right? Here are the things that could happen, but I guess what is too much, we don't know that.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, dude, you ever think, because we all probably had like instant messenger up on our computer, like all the time, right? And so it's just like, and back then, like no one like locked their computer, like did all that type of stuff. So I don't know. I need to ask my mom, like because it's interesting. Like there's such a like, I could very easily go through and see all these different conversations that my kid had. There's that temptation just to be like,
yeah,
what are they into? Like,
yeah.
what's going on? Like all that type of stuff. I'm interested in, like, that's something that I definitely want to ask my mom next time. Like, hey, like, I'm not pissed. I'm just curious if you ever like saw messages up on the computer, just walking by, like whatever, like, did this or that or any of that type of stuff. But
or even just walking by and she saw something and then made her want to sit down to like read.
Right.
Yeah.
If I saw something just like up on the screen there, it's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And then like go into it a little bit more. But no, it's dude, it's because it just I hope that like you have the relationship with your kid, like where you could just like give them a little bit of shit and be like, oh, what's going on here? Like, what's this? And then they'll be like, oh no, this is so and so, like whatever it is. But at the same time, like I know my kid's gonna like keep stuff from me too. That's just like, kids. So but I do not want to like, if at all possible, just like helicopter the shit out of them
Yeah.
and just what's the, keep
Yeah.
going and going.
Do you have and your kid? I don't know. Your kid's maybe too young. I know Lillian's 7, and she tells both of us everything all the time. But Mateo's older, and he tells Andrea a lot more than he tells me, which is fine with me. He's talking to one of us. It doesn't bother me. Do you have your kids? Do you notice if they talk to one parent more than the other? Like I said, your kids might be too young too, because like I said, Lillian's at the point where she's like, I'm just telling everybody everything all the time.
That's how Brooke is, right? Like she's 8, like she does that. Like everything is, oh, I really like this boy this week. I really like this kid, super cute, like all this type of shit. And then like 3 days later, it's a different kid altogether and all that, like whatever. And so it's like that. That's great. But no, I mean, my other one though, like who's turning 5 is just like doesn't say anything really to any of us unless we are like prodding and asking questions about what's going on. But I'm sure that will change here in the next year or two. So yeah, man, it's she likes my oldest one likes to talk, but I have a feeling here in a couple of years, like in a year or two, like that shit's gonna change too.
Yeah.
Going into 3rd grade. And that's when, like, I remember 3rd grade pretty well. Miss Palmer, like, shout out Frank. She's probably dead now. That was
Jesus.
But just playing the odds here.
We'll cut that. Don't worry.
No, it's hilarious. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, no, that's like I have like very vivid memories of 3rd grade, and like so that's I have to remember now too, like the shit that we're doing now are things like she's gonna remember. Probably the rest of her, like, could potentially remember the rest of her life. So I want to make sure like everything's kosher and good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do you notice if your daughter, and that's got to be more difficult for divorced parents, because if she's talking to one more than the other, there still has to be communication between you two. And and I don't know 100% how you and your ex are, but there's some exes that are out there that are like super open, everything's okay. And there's some exes that are like, screw you, I hate you, and I'm not telling you anything ever, so and so there has to be some sort of conversation between you two, like, okay, well, she told me this, and it's something we should look out for or whatever.
Yeah, we have those conversations every now and then, but honestly, like, Olivia's pretty much an open book right now, so we don't have the issue as of now, like that she's either not telling something to us, because it's, again, kind of like Jim referred to with Brooklyn, like Olivia just, anything that's going on, she'll let you know, type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure down the road that'll be interesting. I'm just trying to establish myself as the cool parent, so
that's always the way to go.
The cooler of the two.
Not doing that, right? I'm sure no one wants to be the cool parent. So good job, really zigging.
Thanks.
Really
it's working out. It's working. I'll get there. It's a marathon, Jim. It's a marathon.
You know what's also funny is I've heard the term, man, you're really zagging there. I've never heard anybody say zigging. I like it.
Feel free to take that for
you're really yeah. You really zigged on that one. Yeah.
That's why a lot of people say zag, right?
Yeah.
I want to zig into it.
So you're zigging on the zigzag.
I'm zigging on the zigzag. I took it and elevated it.
Man. And that's what you bring to this podcast.
Dude. Yeah.
That and great hair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that water, or is that a little pomade in there?
A little pomade. If I don't, man, it gets once it dries, it starts to. There's volume.
Me too.
Lorenzo knows all about that volume. Yeah, he does.
So Ty, like, so what do you do? At what point do you have a conversation with Lisa and be like, hey, she talked to you about this? And then if she hasn't, been like, just asking, then hold it to yourself? Or be like, I
Oh,
want to
that's
be
weird because she
notified
told
just
me.
bringing up this topic or this topic or this topic.
I don't know, man. I'm not there yet, I guess. Like, just I haven't
I think
had that situation, I guess, where it's something that I would have to say something like that.
I
I
think it's
guess like, the only thing
something
that
it's
the
something
only
you got
thing
to
that comes
prepare for.
close is like Christmas gifts, like right now, like which is so minuscule, but it's just like, hey, did she tell you that she wants this?
Yeah.
Because like, and that's more like I don't want to buy her the same gift as you're getting her. So like we will communicate that very well, but like there's nothing really that has come up that I can think of, honestly.
Well, on a bigger scale with the I don't want to buy the same gift. That's the same thing with telling your child something, right? I don't want to tell them opposite of what you're telling them too, right?
Yeah.
So that's I mean,
But that's the beautiful part is I just paint the picture however I want to. So
Dude, I just this idea in my head. Game changer. Ask her what she's getting her for Christmas.
and
And
then
then
double
tell
it.
your parents to get her the same stuff and then be
Oh
like,
my God.
hey, I'll take her like the 23rd. I'm having a family Christmas. Then let her scramble.
that's ruthless.
Dude, that's terrible, Jim. I'm sorry.
That's ruthless.
That's so cold. This is
Oh.
also why like when divorces happen, they establish like a set schedule for like set holidays. So that doesn't happen.
Jim, you really zagged on that one.
That's a major zag, Jim.
Dude, zag move, man. People don't. And what is she going to say? Be like, I didn't know my parents were going to get every single thing that you got.
Every single thing.
God. Ruthless.
That's hilarious. All right. And speaking of hilarious, like that segue, we're gonna finish our podcast off.
We're gonna zag hard.
That was a good zag.
Yeah, we're gonna zag.
We're gonna finish our
dad jokes.
Finish our podcast off with dad jokes.
Can I go first?
No, I just made the executive decision in my brain that we'll go opposite the order we went in when we started this podcast.
Can I go first?
No, that's not opposite.
All right, fine. I'll go.
I will go first now.
I hope you don't take mine.
You just,
all right.
If he does, you're gonna have to zag, dude.
Yeah,
you're just gonna have to zag.
You're gonna zig on this one. All right. Are you prepared?
Yeah.
Everybody look me in my eyes. Jim, you okay?
No.
I don't feel comfortable about this.
Okay, well, here we go anyway.
That's the beauty part of a dad joke.
Yep.
Go ahead.
How does a cat like its steak? Rare. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a good one. Zing.
All right, Jim. Oh no.
Who's in the alphabet?
Wait, hold on. Time out. We completely froze. So now we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, sorry. It completely froze on my end. So sorry, Jim.
Jim, you might want to go with a different one on that one.
I didn't hear it.
Oh,
and my computer is
the second time's always better. Yeah. So, I mean, I only know 25 letters in the alphabet. I don't know why.
Okay.
I've heard that one before.
I have not. No. Okay. Wait, are we grading each other's jokes now?
Dude,
I didn't know we were.
Yeah, we are grading each other.
That's a major zag move right there.
Yeah, dude.
This is serious. You're supposed to grade them.
Okay, go.
We'll put up a poll at the end of the podcast.
we never do what we say, so we need to stop doing that.
Well, you got to keep the crowd wanting more. So like they're gonna be looking for the poll, and they're gonna be like, dude, I never saw that poll, but the new version of this just dropped, so I'll listen to that.
It's called an episode, but we got it.
Yeah, thank you. Episode.
Okay.
I blanked. All right.
I hate it. Oh, sorry. What, Jim?
This crowd work for his joke has not been very good so far.
Yeah. No, correct. 0.
Ish.
You ready?
Yeah.
What did one Dorito farmer say to the other? Cool Ranch. Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Now, does the fact that you heard Jimmy's joke twice play into the fact that you did not like it as much?
Yeah, because it's not as like fresh as like the first time, I
I
think.
thought I delivered the second one a lot better, so I understand. Like, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So maybe we should freeze more on these dad jokes and
Probably not. If we
Oh,
want
okay.
to freeze like that 5-minute chunk. So I know everybody's been listening to this, being like, "Hey, how was your guys' trip?" And without being like getting in specific, and this is stringing the listeners along to make sure like this is what they're here for. They knew we were going on this trip, and
yeah.
So we saved that till the end to make sure they listen all the way through.
Yeah.
Any key takeaways or anything stick out to you guys?
So
I had one major.
Go ahead, Ty.
My major takeaway was I came home and I watched YouTube videos on how to throw a frisbee.
Did you really?
I did.
I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
it wasn't great, but I will say, update. I went to a backyard little get together just yesterday.
They had Can Jam.
Played Can Jam. Much better, dude. We're talking straight. They're not going like this anymore. They're just straight as an arrow.
YouTube videos paid off then.
They really did.
Yeah.
But I also figured out. Also, there's 3 points of like. So one is the shoulder, elbow, and wrist.
We already know shoulders messed up.
Shoulder. That's why I'm not good at it.
Okay.
Because I had that shoulder pain, dude.
Yeah.
Playing injured.
I had so much fun. Like it was such an awesome vacation. I wish we could do it every year. But it's just not. I know for me, it's just not feasible. Not even monetarily, but just to there's just other vacations, family vacations and that kind of stuff. So I think a 2-year rotation is really good. I learned even before the trip that we need to plan differently. So going forward, I have a new way to plan vacations, and I talked to a few people about it. I'll put it out there to the whole group eventually.
Why were we excluded from this?
Maybe you weren't.
Maybe you weren't. Yeah. I mean, do you want to hear what that new idea is?
Yeah.
You can be
because I was excluded. I'm going to let the listeners in. I wasn't included in
100%. That was done purposely. So
I was not.
No, Jim was not.
Yeah.
Jim's.
Why was I excluded?
Okay, well, listen. Okay, so
is it the frisbee results? Was it that? Was it?
No, it's not the frisbee.
Am I out?
It's not the frisbee. So here's
out, right?
here's what I decided. And it is a lot on me because I originally came up with this idea and I was like, well, here's what we're doing to make it easier for everybody and for me included. Going forward, we will have a 3-person committee that will pick vacations. That does not mean everybody can't have input, because that's what we still need input from everybody. So what's going to happen is the United States, we're breaking the United States in 3 sections. Okay. Eastern, I'm on the committee. Central, Jim's on the committee, and Western, George is on the committee. So we're breaking them up. Okay, you with me?
How do I vote you off of the committee?
You cannot. Okay, sorry.
Supreme Court bitches.
I will be the Supreme Court to overrule the 3 said committees. We need to establish basic principles of government. So,
well, the government I decided is dictatorship, so it's established. So,
okay. I will revolt on said.
So here's what it is. So
I'm out.
3 regions. You're not out. 3 regions. We have an original 14 or 13 people that are in. Okay, they're always in the vacations, whether you go or not. You're just grandfathered in. People can still input the ideas, but one thing I like that I want to do is rotate the vacation. So we took the first vacation in the Central. We're going to either rotate west or east. I'm thinking west, but we'll let people decide. And then when people submit their ideas, it's only in the Western states. You can submit as many ideas as you want. The committee will come together. We'll get, I'm thinking, our top 3, and then that's what we'll vote on for the whole group. So we're not necessarily picking the vacation. We're just picking the 3 to choose from. Thoughts?
I'm going to secede from the committees and form my own committee.
Okay.
And
You're
call it
never
the
on
Lake Erie
committee to
Region
deal
Committee.
with, so you can't
Mine will be the Lake Erie Region Committee. Thank
you can't leave something you're never a part of.
I can break off though and form my own committee.
Here's
So in all seriousness though, Tyler,
Yeah.
I like the idea. I know we briefly did talk about like different like, when we were down there in Texas. We did briefly talk about it at least one time in the pool that I remember that hey, we should kind of move it around the US to
Yeah.
make it either more or less convenient for others because like obviously we went to Texas and there was a bunch of people from Texas, so it was easier for them this go around and then next go around we were talking about switching up the location somewhere else like East Coast, West Coast. So
Yeah.
I like the idea for what it's worth. Yeah.
I
Do I
think
support being left out of the committees? No. But
So
that'll be another
here's
discussion.
here's my thought on who I chose, because again, if people want to get upset, if the guys want to get upset, it's all me. And I decided all this because I had a hard time planning this thing, and I learned like, hey, there's too many options, too many people picking this or that, and I just got to limit everything. So I chose Jim because he was pretty like, once we were established that hey, we're going to this thing, we're going to Texas, he was pretty instrumental and be like, all right, well, we should do this or do that. Now we ended up not doing anything, but I liked his involvement. Same thing with
well, wait, is there much involvement if we ended up doing nothing?
no, but here's what I liked. I liked that he was into it as far as like I want to try to plan stuff too. And I think I like that part of it. Also, he's an essential. I know Trey's going to give a shit because he's the one who said, "What about this house?" And that's the house we went with. But Trey's going to be upset about anything ever, so it doesn't matter. Also, I picked George because he's really the only one out in the West region, and again though, he was like, "Oh, I want to get these yard games, guys. Have we thought about this, that?" He was another one that was like into it too, and I want people on the committee that are super into it. Now, I don't have an issue with if someone doesn't want to be on the committee, eventually saying, "Hey guys, I don't want to be on. Does anybody else want to be on?" Maybe we can do that too. Like, hey, you planned 3 vacations. Let's have a new committee. I don't care. That's fine too. I just like the idea of limiting the choices once it gets down to crunch time. That's
also trying to get a large number of people to like respond to anything becomes a pain in the ass. Like that's a separate job in itself.
Yeah. So with this model, everyone's still involved. Everyone can be involved as much as you want. You can submit houses, submit places to stay, submit states to be in. But it's 2 things. We're limiting it down to a third of the United States, so we're not going all over the place trying to find a spot. And it's limiting the final tally, because I think I had like 8 places the last time that we voted on. So it's just to me, it just makes it a lot easier and better for me when I originally planned it the first time. So
fair.
This was a pain in the butt.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So aside, did you guys learn anything from the trip?
We have to. I learned that I don't think it matters if we're 3 hours or less away from an airport. I don't think that's a huge thing because we drove 3 hours from Dallas to Austin. Now, to some people, it still might be a huge thing, and maybe we find this awesome house and it takes us 2.5 hours to get there from the airport. Well, then maybe, I guess, if they don't like it, if that's what we end up choosing, then they don't go that year. I don't know. But I learned that I don't think that's a big thing. I also learned, and I'm sorry if I'm taking some things, but I also learned that the house that we choose is very important because we didn't leave, and I think we had an awesome time still.
Yeah.
Agreed.
One thing, like one of the things that I learned that I thought I wasn't 100% sure. Number one, I can't go nearly as hard back-to-back days, obviously. But also, like, I feel like we almost need to have something in like the after, like, be like, hey, let's all go do, if we want to, right? Or essentially, like, let's go do this thing. Like, I know you guys went kayaking, which is cool, but that was almost like a spur of the, like, hey, we're gonna go do this, or I don't know if it's a hike someplace or something, because it's like, all right, it's 12:30. I'm just gonna go chill at the pool and start drinking. And then by like 5 o'clock, I'm beat. Like we're in the sun all the time and everything else. I'm like, that's why it's like, hey, we're going to bed at 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm exhausted, man. So
I like the idea of something free like that kayaking was, or like you said, hiking or something. I like the idea of that. Like, hey guys, we're gonna pile in. We can do this. You guys can come and do this if you want, but this is what 3 of us are doing. But
I was gonna say I don't think our location probably was granted, I don't think any of us really tried, but like to look for like a hiking place near us. But ideally I would like to do something like that next go around. So if we would be out west somewhere, like that would be ideal, is to like set up like a hiking excursion where, hey, we're gonna leave the house at 7:30 in the morning, drive to this hiking trail. We're gonna hike for 3 hours and then just head back. Like, so just something sightseeing wise. I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah, and I think that's something when people submit things, I think that's another thing too. Like how, yeah, you're just submitting this house, but also if you really want this house, explain not just the pictures we're looking at, but explain like, hey, 10 minutes away, we can rent a pontoon boat, or 15 minutes away, there's a real cool basketball court. We can go play basketball or whatever. I think that's part of it too. Like,
this is our first go around, so we're gonna learn obviously from each trip. But
also it is crazy that I haven't seen some of these people in like over a decade, and then like you see them and it's just like it felt like we are in high school again, which was bizarre. And
that's but to that same point, like not like a beat was missed, kind of thing. Like it was just like, oh hey, like you said, I haven't seen you forever, like what's new in your life? But
and then it's just like, it was so awesome to be in like a group where I work remote, like I'm not around people all the time, and it's like where I'm just like my family, and to be in like multiple days where it's just like ball busting and just like all of that type of stuff is like I enjoy that.
Well, that's part of, the main reason for me to do this, or for wanting to do this, is that reason. Like, let's get together, let's hang out, let's just, catch up. And if we're going to do it every 2 years. So now I think the next time we'll have a different feeling. It's still going to feel kind of the same, but it's like, oh, I saw you 2 years ago. If that's the case, but that's what it's for. Let's get away and have some fun and, do what you want to do. But I had a lot of fun. It was awesome.
Yeah. We are taking applicants for the next trip. So the originals have been grandfathered in now and forever. However, new applicants can submit their applications and we will let you know.
That is not the committee is not involved in that. That's a separate thing. That's the entire group.
Out committee's decision. So
no, that's the entire group.
Left outs, and we will decide who is yay or nay.
You know what my favorite thing will be is I think the answer is 0. The amount of guys who went on that trip that listen to this and will get a text from one of them. And I say 0. George will listen, but he's on the committee.
George is our one listener,
but he's on the committee, so he won't text. He won't text about like why did you do this? Because he understands. But other than that, we will get 0.
Oh, I'm gonna fire off the text right after this and say, did you guys realize there's this committee thing that we were all left off of? Let's break away and form our own committee.
Don't do that, because I still got to write an email to everybody. All right, guys.
What's funny is the guys that would be in the left out committee, I don't think anyone would respond. Like they just wouldn't care. They'd be like, dude, I don't give a shit.
Well, I thought about it too. And like who else would undertake trying to plan a vacation for 10 plus people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think these people will not be upset is the wrong word, but just, give me shit for it for a little bit, just because. But I think in the back of everyone's mind is like, well, who else is going to do it?
Randomly, real quick, are you guys thinking East or West Coast next trip? What do you think? Did you think at all about it?
I'm thinking West.
I think West. Yeah. Okay. So we're all in agreement. So maybe you guys can tell that to the committees, that you're on, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. It was great to be back. We'll be back in a couple weeks with a draft. It'll be another draft, and we have to decide what it is. So we will immediately talk after this episode real quick. All right, guys. Thanks again. This has been 3 Different Dads.
All 3 dads.
A working title.